your time today. It's honestly an honor for us to have you in our presence. So, everyone, this is Maryam. She's an expert in data analytics and science. So, she will be walking us through her journey today in terms of how she developed her career. So, all of you taking the courses in AI Data Yard, so you all will be getting hands-on understanding of how to develop your careers as well in this domain, especially those who are entering for the first time. So, Maryam, you have the floor now. Please give us a short introduction about yourself. Mariam, you're muted.
I'm sorry. So,
That's-
first of all, I would like to thank Amar for having me and for A to AI Data Yard. I'm really grateful to all of you guys, and it's lovely to see you all here in this meeting. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. So, I am Maryam Jabbar, and I have studied Bachelor's of Science from Qaeda Azam University, Islamabad, and I have been an analyst with 3 years of experience and in fraud detection and prevention and requirement gathering and data analysis. So I specialize in tools using Microsoft Excel, uh, SQL, and R Studio and Power BI. So uh, I have been working in this department for 3 years, and I have used these tools to deliver insights, streamline reporting processes, and enhance existing solutions. And my background also includes significant improvements in improving customer experience, especially at Telenore Microfinance Bank, and ensuring regulatory compliance. So this is a
And
very
so, yeah.
sorry.
So,
Yeah.
Mariam, indeed, your background is pretty impressive in terms of how you entered fraud detection and all in terms of classification ML. So, could you also tell us a bit about how you got into this field and your experience within different organizations?
Okay, thank you. So I have been a problem solver since my childhood. So I began my journey in data analytics with a passion for problem solving and especially a degree in IT. So in different organizations, I have worked as a fraud analyst, as a data fraud analyst, and currently I'm working as a business analyst, which is purely analytics department. So at Telenore Microfinance Bank, I was responsible for managing multiple reportings, also included merchant reporting, where I was responsible for tracking merchant activities and improving and handling the declined attempts on their portfolio to track or to identify potential risk associated with those merchants. And this helped uh, our team to reduce fraud by 30%. And after that, at I2C Inc., I was responsible for client onboarding for different fraud services and then conducted multiple fraud investigations and delivering actionable insights to executives, streamlining insights and making better decision making. And now at Countrywide Accountants, I'm responsible for uh, preparing multiple dashboards for KPI tracking and ensuring regulatory compliance.
So, when you talk about regulatory compliance, could you
Okay.
also guide us a bit about how analytics and ML enters that field because it's one hot topic these days for everyone to understand?
So you're asking about how regulatory compliance meet these criteria.
Yes.
Okay, so if we talk about regulatory compliance, like we are always handling with data, and you know that data includes multiple aspects, like you have privacy, you have all the details regarding your customer. So that's where the regulatory compliance comes in. You have to deal your client's data within those regulatory compliance. You have to meet those regulatory compliance directed by your regulatory body in your area or in your country. So,
Okay. So, as we know, data analytics is like becoming a more broad and fluid field day by day. What
yeah.
is your definition of it?
So, for me, as I have been worked and in my best knowledge, data analytics is all about transforming raw data into actionable insights so you can solve your business problems through data analytics. And you can see that in today's world, almost every company is using data analytics to solve their problems, to optimize their previous operations, and to better perform in their growth and increase their revenue. So to me, it involves critical thinking, technical skills, and as well as, which is one of the most important thing, it's the deep understanding of your business context to what you want to extract from your data. So this is what data analytics truly means to me.
So, a lot of our trainees, which we also work hand to hand with in terms of building solutions and projects as part of their courses, we still hear a lot of feedback from them that they still feel a bit, confused on in terms of how they apply data analytics to
Okay.
real world problems.
Okay.
So, would you be kind enough to, guide them, like tell them about particular solutions you've worked on and what business context was applied in those situations?
Okay. Okay. So, as I have told you that uh, these days, almost all companies use data analytics to optimize their operations and improve fraud detection and like enhancing their customer experience. Recently, I have been to one of the events in London that was Anticipate London. So what I saw that almost every company is leveraging real-time data, especially for energy and manufacturing companies. Like you can have your real-time insights like which how much quantity is being used so you can always plan your workloads ahead of it. So a real world example or case study I would like to present at my experience, personal experience at Telenore Microfinance Bank, where we had an issue like we identified a trend in fraudulent customers which were they were exploiting multiple phone numbers to misuse offers and attempt fraud. So what we did that by correctly understanding and gathering the customer device data and their personal details associated with them, and also identifying the pattern of suspicious activity, we were able to implement targeted interventions that curb that misuse, and we were able to reduce those fraudulent activities by 25%. So which showed us the transformating transformative potential of data analytics, how we can use data analytics to combat such problems.
That is a very interesting use case in terms of telecommunication and fraud detection, how
Mm.
your team and you actually managed on this.
Yeah.
So, in this situation, what were the challenges you people were facing in terms of storage and data transmission?
So basically, data transformation and in terms of storage, that is at Telenor Microfinance Bank, that was handled by another department. So it was not under our team, like storage wasn't our problem.
Okay.
Okay.
So, which tools or skills do you consider which are essential for people who want to enter this domain, especially those who come from a different background like businesses, social sciences, and want to enter data analytics? What kind of roadmap would you be willing to outline for them?
Okay, so what I believe that data analytics job is different in each department. You can have multiple data analytics jobs in every department, but the essential skills to excel any data analytics job, what I believe are two the most important skills are Microsoft Excel and SQL, because wherever you go, these are the two skills for beginners. But there are also other skills as well, like Power BI and Python, if you want to grow more. But the two skills which are essential for beginners are SQL and Microsoft Excel. And you can, uh, after that, you can move forward to Power BI and Python as long as you keep progressing in your field. So a roadmap I would recommend is that you need to build a foundation in statistics and Excel, and then you can learn SQL for database management, like how you can manage your data, and then you can master visualization too. that is Power BI or Tableau or Quick Insight as per your need. And then always gain hands-on experience through projects. You have multiple guided projects on YouTube. They would always provide you with a initial foundation where you can be confident after that, you after learning that. And another thing is that stay updated with industry trends. Always follow those professionals which you believe that they are sharing proper relevant stuff related to your industry, and you will see that you will learn a lot.
Yes, I completely agree with you on that as well. Being connected with the right people also gives us access
Yeah,
to the right
exactly.
information, especially through LinkedIn and YouTube and all these other platforms
Exactly.
nowadays. So currently you're working in the UK, am I correct, Mariam?
Yes, yes.
So could you give us an overview on how your company is utilizing data analytics in its operations?
Okay, so basically, at Countrywide Accountants, we are an accounting firm. So data analytics is central to all our operations. So we primarily use Power BI dashboards for tracking KPIs, and so to enable better decision making. Then we also leverage data analytics to get a comprehensive picture of our clients' need, and additionally, we utilize data insights to improve our operational efficiency, to enforce our different AML protocols, and support self-service BI for non-technical users, like to provide reporting formats for our different team members or different teams who are not really very technical. So that's how we are leveraging
So
BI.
countrywide accountants, would you guys be like competitors on for KPMG and Ferguson's?
No, that is initially, currently, it's a small startup. So we are just working on our efficient operation,
Mhm.
and we are just focusing on our clients for the moment.
Okay, okay, but it offers similar services to them, right?
Yeah, because it's an accountancy firm, it's also provides you with consultancy. Different, they offer different services.
Okay. So you're currently using Power BI and Tableau in your current company. Would is your company working with tools like Python?
We use Python, like it depends on the need of if you, we are primarily working with Power BI, SQL, and Excel. So as I have worked on Python myself, so if I find myself to be compatible with Python, I can use it. But Power BI, SQL, and Excel are the three main tools we are primarily working on.
Okay, and is there any project you're working on currently in your company that you find interesting or noteworthy?
Okay, so the one project I find interesting is automating the reporting process, because I have been working on this automation thing. So this is one of the projects I find it really interesting, as it involves creating dashboards for KPI tracks, and which enabled us to enhance our operational efficiency by 10%, and it has provided actionable growth insights for all stakeholders.
Okay, so when we talk about automating dashboards, so which challenge do you feel is the most like critical in terms of data management in that scenario?
So when do we, so basically it's, again, it's about if you are a beginner, so obviously coding comes again here as a challenge for beginners to automate the process, because you are going to utilize DAX and multiple measures, and you're going to have the coding challenges there as well. And then you can also have a data challenge as well, which could be a challenge for you for automating the reporting process in that short term.
Mhm. Yeah, but nowadays people manage to get all the DAX queries and coding with just GPT nowadays. They feed the
Yeah,
prompt for what they're looking for, they get the code.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
despite GPT, are there still people who are struggling in getting you to use
So
DAX?
yeah, basically the core thing is that you need to have a foundational knowledge in everything. If you're just using chat gpt out of like your knowledge is reserved, uh, so I believe a foundational knowledge is really important, even if you want to use chat gpt to get
That's
code
correct.
or anything. So you need to have a foundational knowledge in any language or any tool you are going to use.
Yep, and everyone, that answers your question. If ChatGPT going to automate the job, if you don't have foundational knowledge, ChatGPT
Yeah,
can't help you.
exactly. That's the thing, that you need to stay ahead of everything. You need to learn as much skill as possible so that you're never gonna be get replaced with AI, and you need to have a foundation knowledge. That's the fundamental of every job.
Indeed, that is very much very so. And what are some common challenges that data analysts typically face, and how can they overcome them, even especially at small companies like yours?
Okay, so the common challenges data analysts use. So I will talk about my previous company because uh, I have, because they both were big companies, and I will also talk about Countrywide Accountants. So the the biggest challenge you face is sometimes the delayed data or incomplete or inconsistent data, and at the same time ensuring stakeholder alignment. So that's one of the biggest challenge being a data analyst you face. But these can also be overcome by robust data cleaning processes, because you're going to have inconsistent data, so you need data cleaning processes, and then you need to have clear communication with everyone and fostering collaboration between technical and non-technical teams. So this is how you're going to get through these challenges.
So the main challenge comes down to the explainability of the solution.
Exactly.
Okay, everyone, see, like I also told you in our classes, it doesn't matter if your solution has the best practices or the lowest practices. It's about how you can explain it to the stakeholders.
Exactly. That's the thing that keeps you ahead of everyone, because if you have everything, like you can uh, process data, you can make dashboards, but if you cannot explain your things or your technical terms to your stakeholder, uh, maybe they won't matter in long run.
See, everyone, that's very important to note down as well. So, lastly, do you have any advice for our trainees who are looking to enter the field of data analytics? What would you guide them today in telling them that they should be working on these particular areas?
Okay, so I would advise or suggest everyone to build a foundational knowledge in anything you want to achieve. If it's data manipulation, if you want to learn visualization tools, or if you want to learn coding languages, you need to have a foundational knowledge. You need to understand the concepts, like what is the concept behind that, and always stay curious and seek real world projects or internships. Never think that this is not the thing I cannot do. You can do everything. Everything is possible, and plus every experience helps you in long run. So always seek projects, internships. And one of the challenge I faced in my very starting of my career is that for a beginners, I would always suggest that always go for inside jobs if you're starting your career. So, and always emphasize storytelling with your dashboards to make your insights actionable and impactful.
Yes, that is indeed very important to note down. And in further review of that, today, thank you so much, Mariam, for giving us your time. It honestly meant the world to us. And anyone, do you have any questions from Mariam regarding your career and any how you want to go at first? Okay. So Rihan has one question.
Okay,
Rihan, so
please.
your question is, are there any specific and most used BI techniques that one should know? Mariam?
Sorry, can I have it in chat, please?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Okay. 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 So the most, any specific or most specific used BI techniques that one should know is that you should know how to clean your data using any BI tool, like if you're using Power BI or Tableau, like I have used W and Power BI both. Like I was completing my course on Google Data Analytics. So there I used W and now I'm using Power BI. So the most important thing you're going to use as a data analyst is DAX. You are going to use it continuously in your every project. So DAX is one of the important thing in your as a BI tool. So I would all recommend you all to learn DAX as much as possible. Then there comes dashboards, how you can maintain your create your dashboards, and then how can you maintain those dashboards.
Okay. That was a good question as well, Rehan. Anyone else? Any more? Okay, yeah. Second question as well. The chat.
Okay, like statistical technique or ML. So uh, basically, I haven't worked too much on statistical analysis, but as far as my experience, you can like in statistical terms comes like your standard deviation, mean, median, how your data can be relevant to one thing and how it could be the two things are correlated and not related to each other. So these are the statistical techniques you are going to use. But if you see multiple data analytics jobs, you would see that they are always requiring for statistical techniques. So I would always suggest you to go for statistical techniques, and you can have different projects or courses available on Coursera as well. I have completed business introduction with R that involves multiple projects on statistics. So that would be very helpful for you guys as well if you want to go for that. It involves a proper module which covers statistical insights or techniques.
Okay. Next question as well. How to develop the art of data storytelling as a beginner?
Okay, so I would suggest you to, if you want to develop the art of data storytelling as a beginner, I would suggest you to go with simplicity. Like you cannot, as a beginner, you shouldn't make too much. Like obviously, you can make too much dashboards or you can make too much charts in your dashboard. But as a beginner, go with the flow. Take small steps. Always take small steps when you are beginning something. Take small steps and explain those steps to you or to your colleagues or to your friends, whoever they are working in data analytics field, and ask for their feedback. So you can have a proper guideline, and they can suggest you, they can provide you feedback. And this way, if you're not working, so you can have a proper roadmap how to optimize or how to enhance your storytelling techniques with time.
Okay, and good questions are coming. As a beginner, what are the major challenges that are faced by beginners to get their first job? What kind of portfolio is the standard that gained the attention of employers on LinkedIn?
Okay, so I would talk about the major challenges like they are faced by beginners to get their first job. So the challenges I faced because I wanted to get into data analytics department, but I was a beginner. I didn't have a proper guideline, and so that what happened that I entered into a different field. I thought that it's data analytics field, but it wasn't properly a data analytics field. So whenever if you are getting your interviews with any team or anything, you need to ask your hiring manager about the complete job description. Like if you're truly getting into a data analytics job or not. So this way you can have idea about the role you're going to get into or whatever you say. And uh, and the challenge is to get their first job. So I would suggest to you that you need to have experience at least. So if you can have internships or anything. If you have even internship, you can always easily get job after that. You need to connect with people on LinkedIn. You can communicate with them. You need to keep your LinkedIn profile updated. This way you can minimize the chances of not getting hired or getting your first job. It will definitely will help you to get your job.
Okay. Next one is, what are the steps beginners should follow to reach the level of a data specialist?
Follow to read, follow to reach the level of a Okay, so the steps to reach the level of a specialist is to always keep upskilling yourself, and always understand the business acumen. So if you're a beginner, yes, you need to have the necessary skills like SQL and Microsoft Excel, or the skills you need it. But as you are into that job and you want to become a specialist, or you want to progress in your role, then you also need to understand the business context, the business domain, which is very important in your career. So this way you can reach the level of data scientist or data professional, whatever. This way you can progress in your role. You need to have the necessary skills, you need to have the business domain knowledge, and as well as you need to keep yourself upscaling with projects or certifications.
Okay.
Yes.
And next question is, how or what to prepare for a data analyst job interview?
Okay, so the important thing, you need to prepare for data analyst job interview. If it's for SQL, then you need to have a proper understanding of joins, which are really very important. And then you need to have the knowledge of like how you can query your data utilizing like. Then another important thing is case statements, which are very important as well. And then you also need to have an idea about the order execution, like the sequence you follow in your SQL queries, like which comes first and which later, then group by clauses, order by clauses. These are really important. Like, and then having clause, where clause, then comes aggregate functions like sum, average, uh, count, and how do you use these terms like different clauses, group by, order by, with those aggregated functions, and what's the difference between having and where clause. So for SQL, these are the important terms. And for Excel comes the pivot tables. Pivot tables are really very important if you are going to do some reporting in Excel. Pivot tables, VLOOKUPs, HLOOKUPs, and VBS and macros, but that's for automating your reporting processes in Excel. For if you're a beginner, you need to have a proper understanding of pivot tables and
Mhm.
different branching statements like if, how can you use if else statements in Excel, and we call it branching. Or and then conditional formatting, that is very important in Excel. And the other important things are, I told you about VB and macros, but they are not there. They comes in quite advanced Excel. So and for
Okay.
so these are the important terms for SQL and Excel.
Okay. And how statistics works in analytics, and to what extent should one know stats? What topics of stats involved in this field?
Okay,
Okay, Marim.
okay. So basically, statistics is majorly relevant to the data science field. As a data analyst, you may encounter few statistical techniques to implement in your project, but that's not entirely statistical. So if I talk about statistics, my knowledge is limited. As I told you earlier, that it depends on the context, like what you are going to use. So statistics is majorly associated with data learning or data learning. So uh, it is so and important terms in statistics are standard deviation, correlation, mean, median. So you can find all the relevant stuff on YouTube and Coursera as well, and these are the beginner's guide for anyone who's starting with statistics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is this one you might enjoy: international versus local data roles. Can you compare your experience, Mariam?
Okay. So I have worked with Telenore Microfinance Bank that included local um, local customers, and then I worked with ITC Inc. that that has international clients, and then I'm here in London working as a business analyst. So um, yes, I can compare my experience because honestly, I really enjoyed my time at I2C Inc. because you get a different feeling when you're interacting with international people. And that doesn't mean that you cannot enjoy with local customers. Obviously, there are a lot of things that comes when you're working with your own people. So uh, it, for my experience, it comes as a excitement, and if you compare your both in terms of understanding, I believe that the international clients or international stakeholders or whatever you're dealing with international, they're more understanding. They get things more easily and they are easy to go with.
Hmm. Okay, my trainees really don't want to let you go, Mariam. What key areas should someone without a technical background focus on when mastering SQL for practical industry applications?
Okay, so if you don't have a technical background and you want to master SQL, so I would suggest you to go for on when mastering. So okay, so when you don't have a technical background, first you need to have the idea or knowledge about the basic SQL clauses, or like select. Why do we use select in SQL? And anything, this is my experience, like anything you start, you need to start with documentation for everything. Like if you go to SQL, you can have a complete documentation for SQL, like how can we use different clauses in SQL. So first you need to really understand why do we use different clauses in SQL. Then after that you can go on to query writing, and
Mhm.
after that you can go on to writing big queries. So that's how you're gonna prepare for SQL for industry knowledge, and you're gonna be a complete. Then you're gonna be have a confidence as well, because once you're gonna understand those terms, understand those clauses, then you're going to write the queries for practical industry experience.
Oh, yes, that is indeed very important to know about.
Yes.
And the next one is, as you mentioned, the course about statistical analysis. Is a basic statistics intro course mandatory to build foundational knowledge for the BI domain, or you need to take a specific course?
Okay. Just have me a look on this question. Give me a second, please.
Sure, sure.
Okay. So it always depend on you as well. So if you're not working on statistics in your current role or in your current job, at least you need to have an experience. If you're going to use statistics in in your job role, if you're a beginner, you need to have a beginner knowledge for statistics. And from time to time you're going to learn within your team. That's how everything works. So initially you just need to have a beginner knowledge, which you can get from different courses or YouTube or anything. And after that, once you are in that field, you're going to learn naturally.
Yes, that's a good one, answer. Next one is, can you give an example of how data analytics has been successfully applied in a domain with limited historical data? This one's a good question.
This is being, can you give an example of how this is being successfully applied in a domain? Okay, so if you have limited historical data, so maybe what I understand is that maybe you don't need, you don't need to wanna have spent too much time on data analytics, obviously. And plus, if it's for historical data and you want to uh, get some insights from historical data, and that is limits, it's not gonna happen at first, because you cannot. derive insights from limited historical data. Obviously, you're gonna derive some, but that won't be like you won't have a lot of good percentage in terms of limited historical data. But obviously, it depends on your business need. It depends on the your business. Like you can say that it's gonna depend on your business data, how much you have, and how you're gonna utilize those, utilize that limited historical data. But that depends on that comes it comes with percentage, like how much percentage you get. So obviously, it's gonna be low. So you can use that, but again, it involves percentage with that as well. You can derive, but obviously, it depends.
Okay, next one is Nosha, and it's a question: how you managed to secure a job in UK? How would they be able to do it as well?
Okay, so basically, that's kind of personal question. So I got a job. I'm not on job visa here, so I won't like to discuss this thing if you don't.
Sure, sure. That's totally understandable. We can skip that part.
Okay,
So, Mohammad Hamad, next one is: what are some of the engineering emerging tools or technologies and data analytics that you believe will become essential in the next 5 years?
okay. So SQL is going to remain same, whatever happens. So what I believe that the emerging tools or technologies that will going to become essential in the next 5 years, you SQL is going to remain the same, and whatever happens, because you need SQL to have your data. And
Mhm.
it, for emerging tools and technology, there comes different tools and technologies. Like you can have AWS, you can have Azure for your data analytics things. That is, they both are cloud-based technologies. So it depends on your business. Like, what are they going to use in longer run? So, which you need to do that. You need to upskill yourself. So whatever tool is it. So you need to, then there comes uh, I can't remember the name exactly of that tool. Let me give let me take a moment, please.
No issue.
I was recently watching a video which said that the tools that are going to last or they are emerging for data analytics.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't find it right now. So I will, if you guys don't mind, I can share with Amar or Musa.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
yeah, or later on.
Okay, the last two questions which I will, because eventually she also has her to go somewhere else too. So the last question, I believe, which also answered the previous questions as well.
Yes.
What type of projects or hands-on experience should one focus on to build a strong data analytics and ML portfolio? And how important is it to have a formal education in these fields, or will practical experience or certification suffice?
Okay. So as for data analytics is concerned, what I have learned and what I have seen that you don't need to have a proper technical degree. You just need to have an experience. You need to have a hands-on experience with projects. Uh, but as for as machine learning or data science is concerned, you need to have a degree for that. Even some companies ask you for master's degrees for these roles. So that comes the difference between these two. That for data analytics, it's fine if you have hands-on experience, you can get the role. But for machine learning and data science, you need to have a degree for these roles.
Okay, that's that was actually very important for everyone to know about here.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, thank you so much again, Mariam. It honestly means a lot that you were able to give us your time. We know you're a busy person, and all of you who are also still asking questions, she also has to go somewhere. So Mariam, we'll share your LinkedIn profile with our trainees.
Yes, please.
They can approach you on LinkedIn.
Yes, and I will love to answer your questions. Thank you very much for your time, and I
Yeah,
would like to thank you, AI Data Yard, for having me. It's a great honor to be here, sharing my
yeah. Thank
experience.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mariam. Thank you so much for giving us your
Thank
time.
you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye, Mariam. You can sign off on the call.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so everyone, like I told you, few things which Mariam